Determining if an interest rate buydown is a good idea is not as black and white as it might seem. Interest rate buydowns have become a trendy thing lately as interest rates have been on the move. But like a mullet haircut, just because it's trendy doesn't always mean it's good.
What?
I'm a local realtor here on the north side of Orlando, and my team and I have been helping home buyers and sellers answer questions like this for years, and the answer to this question might surprise you. Today, I'll be spending just a minute briefly explaining what an interest rate buydown is, and then I'll be helping you to determine if it's good for you, because making the wrong choice could cost you tens of thousands of dollars, as I'll be demonstrating here today. First, let's take just a brief minute to address just what an interest rate buydown is. An interest rate buydown is a financial technique in which a fee is paid in return for the buyer receiving a reduced interest rate for a specified period of time. So a 2-1 buydown, for instance, it decreases the interest rate by 2% for the first year, 1% for the second year, and then it reverts to the agreed upon interest rate for the third year and beyond. Now technically this is a temporary interest rate buydown, whereas the same funds could be applied to a loan to decrease the interest rate of the loan over the entirety of the loan, which is referred to as a permanent interest rate buydown. For our purposes here today, we'll be focusing on the temporary interest rate buydown. So how much does this buydown cost? Well, the cost for this interest rate buydown is typically equivalent to the decreased cost in interest as a result of the buydown. So hang with me here, because this can get confusing. So using an example of $400,000, a buyer could save $9,323 over the first 2 years. Sometimes buyers will ask the seller to pay for a buydown as a seller concession at closing when it seems like cash is just flying out the window for buyers trying to make this thing happen. Before I dig deeper into the numbers, if this is the type of information that you're looking for, hit that like and subscribe button as a show of support for this small local channel. If you'd like more content just like this, then hit that little notification bell. So, because a buyer cannot pay for this themselves because of some kind of silly law, getting someone else, like the seller, the lender, or the builder, to pay for a 2-1 interest rate buydown could be a good idea. But you should ask your lender if there's a better way these funds could be spent. For instance, would that same $9,300 be better used simply buying down the rate for the entire term for a permanent interest rate buydown? Now, that would likely mean that your mortgage payment could be a bit more than with a temporary buydown, but that buydown ends, and it ends in just 2 years. But simply buying down the overall interest rate using that same $9,300 could save you over $90,000 over the life of that mortgage. It's worth noting that most people never really go the full 30 years with their mortgage. I think that the average is right around 5 or 7 years, but that's still a lot of money spent on interest, and it's worth paying attention to. Now, if your payment for the first 2 years is really the issue, the temporary buydown could be the wise move. However, if you're that concerned about your mortgage payment, you might have bigger issues, but I'll come to that in a moment. Of course, there are other questions to consider. Questions like, how long do you plan to stay in your home? Where do you anticipate interest rates will go in the future? And how do you anticipate your ability to pay for that mortgage to change in the future? These questions can seriously impact your decision when determining if an interest rate buydown is a good idea for you. There are many other factors too. What are your thoughts here? Some of you have experience here. Lenders and others in the industry, chime in. Put those thoughts in the comment section below so that we can all benefit from this discussion. If you are considering an interest rate buydown for the 2-year benefit because you don't plan to stay in your home for that long, then perhaps renting is a better option for you, or maybe keeping that bed in your mom's basement isn't such a bad idea. Some experts say that if you plan to buy a home, you should live there for a minimum of 3 to 5 years, simply as a way to recoup the expenses from that purchase itself. Now, I know that owning a home is part of the American dream. Heck, as a realtor, I make a living selling homes, so I want everyone in America to own a home, but only if they can afford it. I'm often telling potential homebuyers to hold off on a purchase of home if they can't afford it. The stress of not being able to make the payments, the constant nagging of creditors, and foreclosure can have a negative impact on people's lives. Check with your lender here. They're the experts with this stuff, and they can give you a break-even analysis to determine if an interest rate buydown is the best option for you. If you don't have a good lender, simply put that in the comment section below, or simply pick up the phone and give us a call. We can recommend a couple of lenders that have served our customers with good results over the years. We get calls like those all the time, and we love them. Am I saying that an interest rate buydown is a bad idea? Absolutely not. It can be a great opportunity. I've got a family member that recently used an interest rate buydown and it's worked just fine for her. What I am saying is to avoid getting caught up in the latest trend like that mullet. Ask your realtor or your lender for their insight. Use data, consider the numbers, consider the long term to determine if an interest rate buydown is really good for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.